Hello guys, welcome back to the stream. Today is as usual, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum. Hello guys, welcome back to the stream. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum as usual. So let's take a look to the chart. So first of all, we're going to talk about Bitcoin prices and then we will go about Ethereum. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up to the like. So first of all, there's a lot of prices changing around Bitcoin and Ethereum. So in Bitcoin, we're going to talk. First of all, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is evolving. The introduction of inscription has caused an explosion in innovation that created a new use case for Bitcoin that may thought it would never support use cases that someone believed to be inappropriate. These include ordinary like NFTs and BRC20 tokens, and many are wondering that whether they will compete with NFTs and ERC20 tokens on Ethereum. The answer is profound implication for both BTC and Bitcoin and Ethereum today. And I'm going to tell you what inscription, ordinary like ERC20 tokens are explain how they work, access, that impact. They could have on BTC or Bitcoin, whether Ethereum will lose market dominance as a result. I will start by saying that nothing in this live is financial advice. It is a purely for educational purpose. Also, note that I hold roughly the same amount of BTC and Ethereum and profile, so no bias is here. In transition to fail on Bitcoin block, this opened the door to attaching additional data of BTC, Bitcoin. Including individual SAT. For context, each Bitcoin is made up of 100 million SATs, which are like cent to a dollar. As the name suggests, inscription make it possible to attach data in individual SAT, including audio, video, and text. The concept of adding data to individual set isn't it necessarily new. In fact, Bitcoin creator and early Bitcoin developer so had discussed creating a domain name system of Bitcoin back in 2010. This system on Bitcoin eventually lead to creation of Namecoin on the first Bitcoin forks. So in 2012, the CEO for Acto proposed that concept of color coins, which attaching data to Bitcoin transition to effectively tokens a real-world asset. The main reason why this inscription failed to reach mass adoption was because of data limit on Bitcoin transition, which were of course removed by Taproot. Another reason why this inscription failed to reach mass adoption was because it wasn't easy to create then or keep track on as the name suggests. This is where the ordinary protocol does it. Doesn't allow any to inscribe individual set with additional data and keep track where these sets are now. The ordinary protocol was created by Bitcoin developer. So in late January this year, in an interview, Casey explained that he'd been thinking about creating the protocol ever since he saw generated art NFTs on Ethereum. So it's early 2022. Casey wanted to build similar kind of NFT Bitcoin. What's strange is that Casey stepped down as the lead developer of Ordinary in late May and announced that a developer name would RSJ would be taking his place. Casey claimed he couldn't give the protocol the attention it deserved, but there might be more to this story. More about later. Now, what is interesting about Ordinary is that you only need two things to run the protocol: a full Bitcoin node and a Bitcoin wallet that can read and write Ordinary inscription. Casey explained in an interview that the Ordinary protocol was designed to require no extra instruction. It exists entirely on Bitcoin. What's even more interesting about Ordinary thoughts is that the inscription apparently can't be searched using a browser, at least for now. Casey explained that this is because of quote instability. This means that you must search for inscription manually on ordinary.com, which isn't easy because there's a lot of them. For reference, there were more than 10 million ordinary when Casey stepped down from the protocol in late May. This is not surprising considering that multiple NFT marketplace has started supporting ordinary inscription, and a new type of inscription had also been invented, the BRC20 token. The BRC20 token experiment was introduced by a pseudonymous on-chain analyst named Domo in early March this year. Casey had noted in an interview that the Ordinary protocol could be used to create ERC20 and revealed that he was working on trustless swap for inscription, probably nothing anyways, whereas Ordinary NFTs, image, videos of text that have been attached. So the individual SAT, BRC20 token, smart contract that have been attached to individual SAT, the smart contract make it possible to mint and move token on Bitcoin blockchain, but not much else. This is why there are over 10 million original NFT, but only around 40,000 BRC and 20 token each set inscribed. with an ordinary NFT only contains one image, video, or text, whereas each set inscribed with BRC smart contract can millions of units on a single token. Truly mind-blowing stuff. Naturally, beyond C20 tokens, the number of inscription to search the subsequent BRC20 means coin craze, because transaction fees on Bitcoin to spike by the main market cap on BRC20 token. Listening to the biggest one in Esim, the most popular crypto wallet for both BRC20 on ordinary wallet for both units. Browsing extension, the browser wallet has been downloaded over 30,000 times so far, and to put this into perspective, the wallet only had 100k download in mid-May, third time increase in a single month. Meanwhile, the number of non-zero Bitcoin address that is the number of Bitcoin wallet holding more than 0 Bitcoin has gone parabolic over the same period. Bitcoin miners have also been making back from the transition fees that fears actually surpassed the block reward for the first time since 2027. 2070, I'm sorry. At the same time, meanwhile, innovation around both ordinary NFT and BRC20 has increased. One of the most famous innovations happened back in February when someone found a way of uploading a video game to the Bitcoin blockchain as an ordinary NFT. You can literally play a simple version of DOM on Bitcoin. More recently, another ordinary developer named Leonardo introduced a recluse inscription, which makes it possible for inscription to interact with one another. This in turn makes it possible to upload playable video games that are larger than one Bitcoin block and unlock other new use cases as well. Then in May, NFT launched a new ordinary NFT standard with the help of ordinary NFT marketplace. That market is possible to bridge NFT from Ethereum to Bitcoin. The catch is the conversation is currently on a way trip, but foreshadow more intricately for both ordinary NFT and BRC20s on the note. The first BRC20 stablecoin was reportedly launched in the late May. The Corvette is the issuer of these stablecoins appear to be somewhat sketchy. Even so, it foreshadowed the launch of more reputable stablecoins directly on the Bitcoin blockchain. This will likely result in even more Bitcoin adoption. Not everyone is innovation, however, may have argued that ordinary NFT are useless. This is unstable, considering that some of the earliest ordinary NFT inscription contain type of content that I can even mention here. We did get it right. Some have also argued that the BRC20 token are harmful. This is also unstable, considering that they cause transition fee. So this has made more expensive for people on developing countries to send Bitcoin transition, or because some regions wanted to trade meme coins. Others have argued that Bitcoin shouldn't be used for anything else other than regular peer-to-peer. A Bitcoin transition, this is the likewise unstable, considering that the Bitcoin white paper says peer-to-peer electronic cash. Never mind that the more complexity you add, the more The more you create, and it's not your Bitcoin maxi saying this, either crypto analyst Eric Walk explained in an interview that the way the ordinary protocol was coded as akin to an exploit. Now, for those unfamiliar, Eric is no credit of Bitcoin and even slammed Bitcoin maximalism on stage. At the Bitcoin minimum confers, Brave Man crypto VC partner Nick Carter has pointed out in an interview that this enforcing used to be the Terra upgrade could result in the Bitcoin community being more hesitant to improve future upgrade. Nick believed that Bitcoin won't be seeing another upgrade for a long time because of the enforcing risks it will create. On the other hand, many, including Nick, have argued that the objective useless ordinary NFT will be priced on due to the increased transition fees. Now this makes sense because however paid the higher price has their transition process first. First, people won't continue to pay a high price to inscribe useless data. Some have argued that the blockchain bloat supposedly caused by BRC20 will be solved by layer 2 like the Lightning Network. This also makes sense because higher transaction fee on the base chain create an incentive to create scaling solution, and incentive that being lacking on Bitcoin. Others have argued that the fee from peer-to-peer Bitcoin transaction alone may not be enough to secure the Bitcoin blockchain. As time goes on, so additional use case should be allowed. This make sense because Bitcoin isn't just a crypto, it is the most secure network in the world, the ideal base layer, and it's not the progressive Bitcoin is saying this either Bitcoin like Blockstream CEO Adam Backhead and now acknowledge that Bitcoin can be used for whatever people want. What matters at the end of the day is there is demand for block space and for Bitcoin, ideally from objective valuable use case F2 pool CEO. The fact that ordinary NFT and BRC20 token will eventually give rise to those objectively valuable use case. Once all the hype is gone, the consequences seem to be the both innovation or a net benefit to a Bitcoin. But it is still too soon to say what's hype and what's here to say now, as plenty of people have pointed out many of the conversation around ordinary NFTs. And BRC20 tokens sound easily similar to those what happened around the first NFT names. So the icon bond on Black Ethereum in 2017, but the people were also arguing about Ethereum future in light of these distributed innovation. Some of you will recall how picture cartoon cast once brought Ethereum to a searching hat. Many of you will know that most of the crypto projects that launched on Ethereum were completely worthless. All of you will appreciate that many of the NFT and ERC20 that survive are valuable and useful chance are that we will see the same thing happen with ordinary NFT and BRC20 token. This means that Bitcoin could become more akin to Ethereum. If it does, then it will make Bitcoin a more direct competitor to Ethereum. And it appears that Ethereum has already been gearing up for this direct competition. Allow me to explain. Bitcoin is considered to be a digital gold. This is primarily because Bitcoin tokenomics make an ideal hedge against demand side currency inflation. It is it is sound money. Conversely, Ethereum is considered to be a digital or this. So an Ethereum which holds most dApp and token. The narrative around it started to change in the summer of 2021 with the ERP 5059 upgrade to refresh your memory. ERP 5059 burns a portion of all transition fields on Ethereum. This made Ethereum deflectionary, hence the new nature of Ethereum being called money. Obviously, the term is meant to imply that Ethereum is a superior store on value of Bitcoin, and deflection nature Ethereum transition from proof of work to proof to stake also made Ethereum more appealing institutional investor because stake it to earn a yield, and institution love earning yield. Now before you comment about the environmental aspect of proof of work to proof of stake, you should know that ESG upset institutional investors aren't alone concerned about the E, they are concerned about the G. It's mean ESG and VCE. So government, i.e., the control of Bitcoin, can be controlled, and ESG investors don't like that you can learn about Bitcoin and ESG using the link. Anyhow, given that Ethereum can be deflectional and earn a yield via staking, is back the question of what made Bitcoin more appealing than the Ethereum investor, particularly institutional investor. This is a question that a lot of people have been asking lately, especially as Ethereum continue to change and Bitcoin still relatively static. Answer is the question security, the Bitcoin blockchain. Yeah, it is the most secure network in the world, precisely because it is static compared with all the other which change constantly. It is the ideal base layer on which additional innovation can be built. What's missing, what's the creative to be built than ordinary NFT. And BRC20 have introduced this incentive and have therefore prepared Bitcoin ecosystem to see the same explosive growth that Ethereum did after NFTs and ERC. The difference is that Bitcoin ecosystem is much more secure due to the its base layer. Now this is more significant than you think, because the only thing that institutional investor love more token bands in yield is security. They want to be certain that the token they emit on a cryptocurrency blockchain will stay there forever, and Bitcoin arguably provides more certainty than Ethereum. Ethereum here, this is for many reasons, including the fact the proof of work is insecure than proof of stake, the fact that the infrastructure used to interact with ordinary NFT and BRC20 token, Bitcoin itself, the fact that Bitcoin doesn't change, and the fact that it has been around for much longer than Ethereum. Never mind that fact that Bitcoin is only crypto that the SEC has set it, not as security. Speaking of which, if you're wondering why proof of work is more secure than proof of stake, it's like token and over, so innovation. There will also be no shortage of risks. This is one definable advantage that Ethereum has moved fast. This is one of undeniable advantage that Ethereum has. It has moved fast, broken things, and fixed that Bitcoin hasn't broken anything yet. But unlike Ethereum, it can afford to call call me crazy, but the biggest risks associated with Bitcoin innovation appear to be a regulatory recall that Casey handed over the Ordinarians protocol to be a developer, and that even subsequent innovation, including BRC20 token, has been built by Davis. Not now, this could simply be because this developer don't want to get that threat from Bitcoin maxes, but it could also be because they are concerned about regulatory sanctuary, and it could also be because they are up something shady. Consider that Bitcoin miner make millions from ordinary NFTs and BRC20s. The theory aside, Bitcoin evangelists believe that could be regulatory risks, namely for BRC20 token, like the ERC20 token or Michael, and could be classified as security by the SEC, something that ironic considering that BTC itself is supposedly immune from security. This tie into another risk that more technical in nature. Remember that ordinary NFT on BSC20 is involved in inscribing data onto individual SATs. In theory, this could do damage to BTC because some SAT would have different attribute from other. This means they could be threatened. Definitely, for example, if there are SAT that have been inscribed with a video, this is disliked by a regulatory on company for whatever reason. They could introduce restriction on the deposit withdrawal of any Bitcoin transaction containing these SAT. They could even apply transition to the wallet, which all then in practice this apparently isn't a risk. Casey explained in an interview that the ordinary protocol does not affect the individual SAT. However, there have been multiple reports claiming that it in fact does effectively logically it does, because you can different between non-inscribed set and inscribed set. Anyway, from where I am standing, in the biggest risk associated with innovation on Bitcoin is one of the been overlooked, and that's centralization and transaction fees on the Bitcoin blockchain. His innovation, more people, mainly those who don't have much money, will switch to using layer. So this is about the Bitcoin, how was it growing fast, talking about Bitcoin uses. So let's take a look to the Ethereum prices today. How is it changing in Ethereum prices? you can see right here an Ethereum chart. So there is some action since the last update. Ethereum still below on descending trend line, still in a likely wave 2 and correction that work about there is wave 2 correction unfold as an ABC structure. And the idea is that of this high in July, the July 14, the July high and the wave completed a B wave, complete and that we are now in the C wave to the downside. The wave is 5 wave, more look like the wave are completed, the wave 2, the wave 3 is still unfolding, and wave 4 is still unfolding, and the wave 5 is still unfolding. It is a little bit of compared to the Bitcoin count because it seems like the Ethereum chart is unfolding, is an ending diagonal. Now that doesn't necessarily mean it has to go down much lower, but it will certainly be more choppy. Yeah, as you can see right here, the wave are already flag structure. The third wave wasn't really long enough. Therefore, we only count this is copy. We have it doesn't really look impulsive anyway, and there will be wave of the wave 3, and the next move down the C wave. B wave could top now, but no strong. I have no strong confirmation that has been stopped. Come to go a little higher with a problem to 1877 or 1888 before it is then come down in the C wave or wave 3, then a wave 4 and the wave 5. That's short-term forecast. Bear in mind today we had the interest rate decision certain scenario can just play out within the minute on a day like so you just have to expect some distortion on the daylight that you can always get these wave going to the extreme, things like that. They just need to be a bit flexible day like this, and it is really good sometimes to just wait and let the dust settle to come to any conclusion. Sometimes we don't see like sometimes it is a bit of a non-event, but yeah, this is still the forecast resistance. It is clearly defined as the price move, just in corrective action in what I count just below resistance here, which is eventually between 1868 and 88. But we already basically touched here at the 1868 level, so again it could have top, but not really. Through to the downside, we could go a little higher, but that would just be again the higher level trend, which is still down in my opinion. However, if we see a break above the swing high, which is way too high, about the 1995 or 1905 level, then we're assuming that the overall correction might already be completed. Don't forget me wrong, it already reached outtrend reversal area. It will still be a very, and don't forget, we have structure support in this regional around 8030 as well, and we have reached already 8035, so we are very close. Ideally, I would like to see price get to 8030, maybe a little lower, eventually, yeah, possibly all the way down to the 7081. This is sort of the area where I think we have a certain area of like increase for the price to get into between 8030 and 7081. If it is go below 7081, also not a problem. And Ethereum sometimes like to break below the golden ratio. Briefly, it did that before here on the, you can see right here on the March. Similar happening here again, as you can see, holding the support line. So eventually, this is the area of which and expected the price duration around rally maybe 2,500. Plus the condition is very clearly that 7030 level property is very important, because a break below the level innovation with a very high likelihood. And that's why about Ethereum, I hope you like update. If you did, please hit the like button on the and comment and subscribe. If you really like the live, please check out some other videos. So this is about Ethereum. So let's get back ahead to the Bitcoin chart. So, so let's talk about Bitcoin. So, a Bitcoin started with the median time. We're looking for a contraction to the upside, and a wave 3 or wave C. After we are 2 are looking at this impulsive. So So character structure and either ABC, which is 35 on the wave, or looking at the final, and by itself also a 3 wave to the downside, which is important because like it hit all these lower were made on the 0.236 for the high low to the high of 1, or a base. Finally, the 382 has been high right on the target area of 29K, as mentioned, very important. Potentially a bounce to the upside, and what is important about the bounce, the voltage that I have in yellow over here, ABC to the downside where a wave structure, then we could already count a 5 wave move in here. To be potentially finished, it's going to be much bigger, and this only been wave 1 or 2. This is another 1, 2 for downside, more about that in the hold. So being another 1 or 2 or more downside is going to be a high, hence the reason this is such an important level. Doesn't mean we can come down once again for a wave Y, but coming down again for a wave Y will mean that this is wave Y in time is significantly longer the time it take to develop a wave W and WX, so which is not really common, and preferably if we go above this level on the lowest and observe what price is going to do in the bearish scenario. So we are looking for a contribution to the downside, so for a bigger expanding flat in ABC, meaning so the structure in wave B for then a 5-wave move to the downside in wave C, which is then the yellow count, as you can see, most common target area for a wave C between the 2 of 1.618 sitting between 23.4K and 22K. And also here the inversion again is very important, because in this scenario we are then looking for a 1 or 2 before then a bigger 3, and in around those 1.6 over here, price is going to 3350 level. This scenario becomes a significantly less probable. Also, if we look at this wave over here, because this wave B needs to be expanding flat, meaning a 3 and a wave move to the upside, but it's a bit weird about this impulsive structure to the upside at the length and the time of this wave. So it is nicer being the high, but in the particular scenario this has to be the high of B for that impulse. Long in time, 11 times longer than wave 3, which is incredibly uncommon. So the lower the probability of this scenario, if we look at this volume profile, I think it is very important to show you. Can see that currently price found, which on the top of the value of this volume profile, which is from this range over here over here, and I have made a put on the chart personally, because if you take a volume profile on, you would include the whole price structure. Now you can see the point, everything has changed and moved toward upside, but in this scenario this volume profile is taken from this part of the chart, and you can see we back test the volume area high very prices and drop below the value area higher than the probability are very high for the price to move to the point of control of 27.9 and even go all the way down to 26.2, but it is then now back testing the range value area high after the breakout back test. The potential of course contraction to the upside if you go to the low top time frame scenario. Then the first scenario is a potential ABC downside. So in the scenario we are looking for a structure that is matching the bullish scenario that we have, right? So the bullish median is time frame with scenario where this is a 3 or 3, so the end of 1 is over here, and looking this to be a 3-way corrected structure, because the bullish scenario is preferred on the low time frame. We are looking for a structure that are matching this particular medium time frame scenario, is so therefore the low time frame structure are going into depth. The last median time frame structure basically, so either the wave C or the wave Y. So in this scenario we are looking for a wave Y. It is a 3-way structure to the downside, and then an ABC. Now it has to be set wave, could be potential B the target for a wave C. So it is rare, but it is target, not less, taken from the high to the low. The high or B, where B is the sideways structure, and this is by itself. Now this is very short wave, seemingly like most commonly tends to be length in time, maybe a bit longer than a wave. So this will be a bit more rare in a wave C, and also than the 0.618 most common target for a wave C between the 1.236 price, which much lower and take this long. This is the area of wave C, and about this area, about we have this bordered areas is important between 26.8K and 27.4K. So it will move below this. I can imagine it going to this target, where still a rare target for a wave C is 1.618, which is below the target. So I'm confident that if price take this, how I can expect much lower prices to come also, because we don't really have any structure over here, and goes up but quickly go down quick as well. The more bullish scenario, we are looking for a continue to the upside, and what is important in this scenario, which is that price is taking this high. May have seen it in the previous scenario. There is the 3.50 as one of this high. So the siding upside or downside in this particular scenario, we are looking at this to be a wave. And this is wave 5 structure to the downside of median time frame. We didn't have a 1 or 2 or 3 hours where the 0.618 is common for a wave 5, so that's fine, taken from the high to the low, 3 to the high of wave 4. As you can see, very nicely respected. You like to see this is one being to the low of then continue to the upside. If we're looking at the CVD divergence, we still have the higher time frame. So CVD divergence have bullish, a divergence between the higher low and the price action. CVD, but also more locally, we have quite a lot happening. So if I zoom over the more locally, we have gone for a few days. We have a higher low in the price, lower low on the CVD. This high was taken nicely. Another downside, again and again, higher low on top price, lower low and the target also taken in brilliant. Then we had a bearish CVD, which actually got enveloped today, is as price kept pushing toward the upside, also because we have more bullish EVD. I actually forgot to put those on the chart, the price over the move. So it is not divergence, because preferably what you like to see is clear structure to the downside with some wave in a retracement. So the bearish CVD actually case that is not really a good structure to call it. So it's not greatest, but nonetheless want to keep in mind. And if it is price taken high, so this bearish activity enveloped today. Now the target for this bearish CVD is this lower over here. Actually, of course, if you know, you can see on the CVD, if I show you the whole range basically. So yellow as well as higher high on the blue, but again, this is the greatest CVD divergence. So we have, and we also retrace quite high compare to this high already. So let's see, we're going to watch the 8086. So let's see how this is gonna play out.